We're learning new details tonight about the CHP officer killed in yesterday's shootout in Riverside.
He's been identified as 33-year-old Andre Moye Jr. News 8's Amanda Shotsky is in our newsroom with what friends and family are saying today and more on the gunman who took an officer's life. Amanda?
Those who knew Officer Moye described him as a generous man who loved serving the community. He was one of 3 officers shot in the gunfire exchange between law enforcement and an armed driver who had been pulled over. We've learned that the gunman had an extensive criminal history that included previous violence towards law enforcement.
People talk about routine stops, but there are no routine stops.
Those who knew CHP officer Andre Moye Jr. are trying to make sense of the traffic stop that ended his life.
This incident shows just how dangerous the job of the California Highway Patrol and law enforcement is in general.
The officer had pulled over a white pickup truck on the 215 freeway in Riverside when the driver suddenly pulled out a rifle and bullets started to fly. Moye was fatally shot, 2 other responding officers injured. The gunman was also killed.
Unbelievable. This is so unbelievable. Who does this kind of stuff?
Moye had been with the CHP for 3 years. He's described by friends and colleagues as a man with a big smile and an even bigger heart.
His heart was serving the community.
The suspected gunman has been identified as Aaron Luther, a man with an extensive criminal history, serving 10 years for attempted murder back in 1994 and arrested later for assault on an officer. Still, Luther's father says he was trying to turn his life around, calling his wife for a ride just moments before opening fire on law enforcement.
This whole thing is bizarre to us, and we're lost, you know what I mean? I cried all night.
At the family's Riverside home, a note asks for privacy and offers condolences to those involved. While at CHP headquarters, wreaths are laid for Officer Moye, who colleagues say died doing his dream job.
Officer Moye was an outstanding individual, and he will be deeply missed by the California Highway Patrol.
And a motive behind the shooting remains under investigation. This as law enforcement continues to investigate this. They say it could take some time because 2 people initially involved, that would be Officer Moye and Luther, they're both deceased. Now, as far as the 2 officers who were injured, we're happy to report that one has already been released from the hospital. The other is expected to make a full recovery. Back to you.
Thanks, Amanda.